Hello, this teddygaming VC. Welcome back to a very weird video, shall we say, just because they just announced that they're going to be making a live-action R-rated TMNT The Last Ronin movie, which, oh my god, I can't believe that it's happening, but at the same time, I do have my doubts. And the reason for that is not because I want to be negative towards this project whatsoever, because I really want this to come out. I really want them to do more stuff with Last Ronin, and I think that this will do really well. I think it's like a really great story, and I think it could do really well to be a movie. I think it might be better as a TV show, but either way, I'll take what we can get. But the reason why I'm a little bit skeptical about it is just because a few years ago there was like a rumor that went around that spread like wildfire about them announcing like the Last Ronin movie, and then it turned out to be false. So in my mind it's just like, oh come on, please be true. But at the same time I'm sort of thinking, oh, it might not happen. But because it has been announced by the Hollywood Reporter, I do have some feeling that this might be true, which I really do hope it is. Underneath the title of this this article, it says that Tyler Burton Smith, who co-wrote the upcoming action movie Boy Kills World, is planning for a script for this high body count tale, which does seem pretty interesting. Just because I don't know anything about that movie, but you know, if it's as anything like Last Ronin, then I feel like we could be in for a real treat. And if it turns out to be really good, then we could be on for something really great. So yeah. Okay, so then the article goes on to say that after the success of last year's animated hit film TMNT Mutant Mayhem, Paramount Pictures keeping Tell Power going by putting a new feature project into development, which I must admit I'm quite surprised at, just because with most versions of Tales, they normally don't like to mix it with other versions. I know that in the past there has been some, different occasions where they have released movie versions alongside a TV show, but to do two different movie versions is going to be pretty interesting, which I'm not too sure what to remake of it. I really hope it's good. So then it goes on to say, this one, however, will go beyond the realm of all ages material. The long-standing property is known for, and instead go for gritty R-rated territory, which I must admit I'm a little, I don't want to say concerned about, but I do think that maybe, I feel like it's one of these cases with Turtles, is that there's never that middle ground of what people really want. Just because people want dark, dark stories, gritty material and stuff like that, and people do the fun stuff, but yeah, they always go lean for the kiddie fun stuff. But now they're going in the complete opposite direction, just kill everyone, which yeah, I guess, but still, I feel like this may be going in the opposite wrong direction. But I feel like it might be a step in the right direction. I feel like they might need to, I don't know. Because Tales, I don't feel like it should be over the top dark, but I don't feel like R-rated is the way to go. But either way, I'm happy that it is getting this, because there's so much potential with Tales being a darker property, which I feel like there could be a lot of stuff they could do. So then it goes on to say, Paramount is developing TMNT The Last Ronin, adapting a popular storyline seen in the recent IW comics as a live-action feature with the intent of making it for R rating, which, yeah, I mean, this seemed pretty interesting. I do hope it does go down that route, because, again, so much possibilities. So then it goes on to say that Tyler Burton Smith, who co-wrote the upcoming R-rated action movie Boy Kills World, and wrote the 2019 interactional Chucky horror franchise Child Play, is penning the script. Which, I mean, it must admit, I'm quite interested, just because I know that with some comic book storylines and also movies, they normally don't adapt recent stuff, which I feel like it could be interesting. But I'd also guess it depends when the movie actually comes out, because this might not actually come out, or something along those kind of lines, which I do hope it does come out. But yeah, so I will be quite interested to see how much is actually taken from the comics and which bits are taken out, changed and stuff like that. So I feel like that might be a bit curious to see. So then it goes on to say that Walter Hammond is producing this through his 18HZ production company as part of his multi-year deal with a studio. Hammond is the former head of DC Films who rose through the ranks at New Line, where he oversaw the Warner Bros. Division horror movies, including The Conjuring and its franchises. His 18 banner is focused on making features in the horror genre, which, I mean, that's also a bit, I don't know, a bit confusing, because if there's supposed to be an R-rated fighting, like, action movie genre kind of thing, then why is he, you know, he does stuff with horror movies? That's the bit which I'm a little bit like, okay. That's a little bit concerned, because I don't like horror movies, and I'm somewhat a little bit scared that this is going to go a bit too far over that edge. So yeah. So then it goes on to say, and Lost Ronin is about as terrifying as a Tell's Tale can get, which, no, there are way more scarier Tell's Tales out there. It's just that this one so happens to be the one that kills everyone. But I wouldn't say it's terrifying. So yeah, it's set in a, I can't say that word, future New York City. The comic miniseries told of how the Turtles must Splinter are killed off one by one by the grandson of the villainous Shredder and the synthetic ninjas. One of the Turtles managed to survive, barely, and vows to exact bloody vengeance. One trick of the book was that it wasn't clear, for a while at least, which one of the Turtles lived as a survivor had the weapons of all four. So, I mean, I must admit with that, I will be quite curious to see if it will actually be like the same like character who is Last Ronin, just in case people haven't seen it for some reason. Or they will be changing it up, which could be a little bit more interesting. But I feel like that could be an interesting change to make. But I feel like some people will complain about that. So then it goes on to say that, so more or less like in this bit here, it goes on to just talk about the franchise, what happened, and stuff like that. Which, yeah, a little bit interesting, but I really know about that. And then even here goes on to just talk about a lot more of these Tell stuff from like what's happened with the movies. Which is, pretty interesting, but we don't care about that, we want to talk about Lost Ronin. So, yeah, I mean, overall, this just sounds too good to be true. And there's also a lot of things in here which I'm I want to say a little bit concerned about as of right now. Just because there's a little stuff which I do feel like is going a bit too far in the opposite direction of everything being dark and gritty, to the point where maybe this might be a bit too dark and gritty. But I feel like with this could be a game changer for Turtles, and I do hope this does come out, because I think that this will definitely change the minds of Paramount in terms of like what fans really want, and I feel like a lot of people would definitely shop for this. And I feel like this, I don't know, I feel like this will be a big hit, but it depends on how much they change of it, and also how far they go in the opposite direction of making everything dark and stuff like that. But I do definitely see that this is definitely on the right tracks for, you know, Tales going in a better direction of, you know, there's like, you know, different versions and variety out there instead of just the kid-friendly stuff, which I do think that this is a step in the right direction, which is really great. But I do have some concerns about like some of the stuff so far with like a person who works mainly in horror. Yeah, I don't like the sound of that, but if you can make a good Tale movie, I won't say anything about it. But either way, this does sound really great. I just hope that it actually works out, because, well, the last time we got news about that, yeah, it didn't go down too well, and it annoyed a lot of fans. So yeah. But I'm just a bit more curious, like, see, like, what happens next in terms of, like, when, like, next bit of news comes out, like, everything about that. I want to know more. I want this movie to come out. So, yeah. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this video, or this news, really. Are you looking forward to it? Are you not? And I guess the, like, next big question is, like, what do you, like, want from this movie? What do you want to, like, happen, expect, and, like, do you think that this could be a step in the right direction and changing things in terms of the initial franchise overall? But, yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you just want, please share, like, subscribe and all stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.